Hey everyone, today we're going to learn about math for nurses. There's a few different types of simple math calculations that you have to do in nursing, and the two that I had trouble with that I had to work on were figuring out how many milliliters you're going to prepare when they give you the number of milligrams of the medication. And then the second one that I had trouble with was figuring out how many drops per minute you're going to administer of a solution. So I'm going to show you an example of how to convert milligrams to milliliters, and I'm going to show you how to figure out your drops per minute of a IV solution.
So there's three ways to figure out the milliliter number that your doctor wants you to give to your patient. And those are the three: ratio, dimensional, or formula. And most people do the formula. I like to do the ratio and proportion, which is basically cross multiplying for grade 8s. That's basically what it is. So for some reason that makes sense in my head, so I do that. So we'll go over and do an example. So every time you are doing your calculation, you write out this little equation. So this is the available dose, what it says on the vial or the ampule. So it'll say it has a certain number of milligrams of medication in 1 milliliter of fluid. So that's the available dose. So say you have an ampule or a vial of something that has 5 milligrams of medication. Maybe it's penicillin, I don't know, could be anything, per 1 milliliter of liquid. So that's your available dose that states on the vial or ampule. And then your desired dose, this is what the doctor wants you to administer. He wants you to administer 4 milligrams of medication. So we have to figure out how many milliliters of medication are we going to give to our patient, because he needs it via IV, for example. So to figure this out, we need to cross multiply. So what I like to do first is put an arrow like this to remind myself to start there. So 4 times 1 is 4. Then we put an equal sign, and then we do this next section. So 5 times n is just 5n. Okay, now we have this, and I put a little dividing sign. So 4 divided by 5 is, well, I need a calculator to figure that out. Okay, I calculated it. It's 0.8 milliliters. So that is how much you will give to your patient. And you're going to probably take this amount and mix it in a solution, which will be given slowly via IV to your patient. So we'll do a drops per minute question now. I like to use the standard formula, and here's the formula. So it's the total volume of the solution you're going to be infusing into your patient via IV, and the drop factor, so that's how large the tubing is, so how big your drops are going to be, and that's usually it usually says on the equipment that you're using. And then you divide it by the total amount of time that it will be infusing, and you got to get it by minutes. Okay, that's important. So if it's in hours, you have to convert that to minutes. All right, so then you'll get your drops per minute, which is, a number, GTT per minute. So here's an example. Administer 500 milliliters of solution over 30 minutes. And they always give you a drop factor. So the drop factor is 10. So let's punch it in here. We've got total volume, 500 milliliters times the drop factor of 10 divided by the total time is 30 minutes. Okay, so what do we got? Whoops, we've got 5,000 divided by 30, which is this.
Okay guys, so that's med math for nurses. One example was figuring out your drops per minute that you would need to administer, and also figuring out your milliliters to give to a patient. So hope that helps.